All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we turn this game of luck into a game of skill. That is sports betting. And if you're tired of the highs and lows in sports betting, you are in the right place. We are going to give you information, tips, tricks on how to get better at beating the sports book. And today we are talking about how to manage your bankroll. This is super important. It's something that people just totally skip when they first get into sports betting, and they say, I have $100, let me bet it on something. And so this is something that if you want to take your sports gambling to the next level, bankroll management is super important. Just imagine if you were able to make bets and not sweat them. Why wouldn't you sweat them? Because you know that your bankroll can handle it if you lost that money that you just put down, that you bet on. And that's what we're aiming for today. That's what I want to share with you. That's what I want you guys to learn today. So stay tuned as I unfold the secrets to smart bankroll management. Now, let's talk about why it's important for you to make sure that you are doing bankroll management. It's super crucial for your success and your basically your long-term success in sports gambling. I know, guys, if you never do bankroll management, you're going to be out of this game as soon as you run out of money. And for some people, that's very quickly. Some people, it could take a couple years, but in the end, they do end up leaving because they didn't do proper bankroll management. And what really is bankroll management about? It's making sure that you never bet more than you can afford to lose, right? That just makes sense. But besides that, you're also trying to maximize your profitability with all your bets. So there's a balance there. You don't want to bet too much, but you don't want to bet too little, or else you'll never get your profits out. So, first things first, how do we set up your bankroll? Well, basically, how much are you willing to dedicate to sports betting? And one of the biggest things about your bankroll is that I'm laughing because it's just I see it all the time, where the story of a guy who basically, he plays and then he wins money, and then the next week he loses and has no money to pay. And didn't you just get paid last week? And now this week you got no more money. Why? How does that happen? Right? And it's obvious the guy already spent the money that he won. And the reason why he did that is because he did not separate his sports betting bankroll against his regular money to spend and finances. So that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to determine how much you're willing to set aside for sports betting. Specifically for sports betting, you do not touch it. You leave it there and you dedicate it to your sports gambling. You don't spend it on coffee. You don't spend it on going out to the club. You had a good week. You put it in your bankroll and you don't spend it in the club, right? So that's number one, setting up your bankroll. Make sure you keep that separate from your personal finances. And sometimes you got to save up for it, right? But let's say you start with $100 and then you're betting whatever amount that is determined to be your unit size, which is the next thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to managing your bankroll is unit size. Now, when you're first starting off in sports betting, a lot of people are just choosing a number that they feel comfortable with betting today, right? So like, ooh, today I feel like betting $100. Like, I got an extra $100. I'm gonna bet it on here, and then then they lose or whatever, and then they don't play. But that's not what we're doing here. If that's what you're doing, then that's a whole different for fun type of thing. Here we're talking about how to win, how to last a good time, good long time in this game of sports betting. So what the best way to do that is by creating a unit size. And typically what they say is units are about 1 to 5% of your bankroll, and this unit size will depend on your risk tolerance and your betting style. And I see so many guys that are doing it in different ways. Their unit size can be very big, and sometimes they actually double up. And I'm going to talk to you guys more about that later in this video, about those different styles, right? But just make sure that you set your bankroll. Your unit size is about 1 to 5% of your bankroll. And this is actually a starting point when it comes to sports betting, because once you actually do have an edge, your unit size will increase heavily, and you may actually be max betting everything because you actually have a winning strategy. So when you're first starting off, you need to learn, and you never want to lose too much. Okay, and let's see. The next thing that we're going to talk about, and this is probably the most important thing, is record keeping. And I've seen it so many times. People think that they lost, and I look at their numbers, and they actually won, right? So but the problem was that they think they lost because they don't feel the extra money, and that was because they didn't have a separate bank account or a separate bankroll for sports gambling. They started to commingle their personal money with their sports gambling money. So then when they came upon a losing week, they feel like overall that this sports gambling, they've just been losing this whole time, when in fact, in reality, they've actually been winning. And they've been winning with me. And so those are some of my partners that I work with. But if you are not record keeping, you basically don't know where you're at. So it's useless. So record keeping is the most important. What I do is I use an Excel sheet. I log everything every week, and I total everything up. It's super helpful. It tells me where I'm at. It tells me what my profit is, and this Excel sheet has been getting better and better over the years of using it, adding more formulas and all that. And everybody's going to create their records differently. Some people don't use Excel. I see some people using pen and paper, and that's fine. Some people are old school that way, right? So whatever way you want to keep records, do it, because that is super important. You'll see your patterns. You'll see that you can log your wins, and that those winning, when you see yourself winning, then that keeps you on the right path of saying, hey, I'm doing good. This is the right thing to do. And you'll get better and better at it. Now, I was talking about some different ways about you betting unit size, and these are more advanced bankroll strategies. So I just mentioned about a guy who kind of doubles. One of those bankroll strategies that is kind of doubling, stuff like that, is called Oscar's Grind. I have a video on it. You guys can check that out if you haven't. And it's not 100%. They're not always the best strategies, and you could end up losing a lot of money. But these are more advanced strategies for somebody who knows what they're doing. I wouldn't suggest this for somebody new, and especially if you have a small bankroll, it's kind of hard to run Oscar's Grind. So, but you could check out that video. One of my other partners, they are doing it where they know where their bankroll is, and he basically tells us how much to bet. So usually he gives us a play and a certain unit amount, and if that play loses, depending on if it's an MLB or soccer or whatever, because he provides plays for different leagues, different sports, and where you're at in that league. Depending if the bankroll went negative, then he'll tell you to increase your unit size. So that's one of my partners that I work with. I'll share with you his information as we move forward. I'm still working to build that together with him, and so we'll share that information with you. Now, let's see some of the common pitfalls with your bankroll management. I'm sure everybody has done these things because I've done them in the past. No more. I don't do them anymore because they're basically just just the worst mistakes that will have you basically starting over. One of those is chasing your losses. Yes, you could basically reset all your wins by chasing your losses. It's the worst thing, and it happens to everybody. If you get on tilt, it happens on poker, right? So don't chase your losses. Learn to control your emotions, and don't do that kind of stuff. Another one is over betting on a lock, a guaranteed winner. I got a guaranteed winner. I got a lock of the century. And then somebody tells you that, and then you throw it all down because you were drunk maybe, and you just threw it all down. And then boom, there goes your entire bankroll. And those are the kind of things that will make you quit this game, because all of a sudden you were doing good and you're starting over. Definitely you don't want to drink while you sports gamble. So those are some of the tips and tricks for bankroll management. I hope you got some great information out of this. Now start to put this to practice in your own sports gambling. Remember, make sure you create a separate bankroll between your sports betting and your personal finances. Make sure you're record keeping. These are very important things so that you have longevity in this game and so that you can turn a profit in the sports book. My name is Ken. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we appreciate your time.